3 pro players, 3 completely different ways that they use their gear. We check out the pros, the cons, and the ways it might help you improve your game. This is How Do You Mouse and Keyboard, brought to you by Logitech G. Achieved is the current captain of the Rainbow Six team for TSM. One of the most respected pros on the scene, he has a very unique way he likes to grip his mouse.
He's not exactly in fighting shape, but he's allowed to swing out. The support from his teammates gone. And what's this? Achieved allowed to run out. He's got a nitro cell as well.
Hey, I'm Achieved. I play professional Rainbow Six for TSM, and I'm the captain, entry, and roamer for the team. I use a little bit weird of a grip. It's claw grip mostly, but it's kind of like an overextended claw grip. So my grip is very high up onto the mouse. I use the claw grip because it's just something I developed over time. I never played PC for like my whole childhood. I kind of played it for the past like 2 or 3 years. So whenever I switched over, I actually didn't look at like grips and like what other people use. I kind of just like did what was natural, and it just developed over time for me. Actually, very recently I've tried experimenting with a palm grip and more of a relaxed claw grip, where the back of my palm actually goes all the way down onto my mouse like this, rather than like the overextended grip I have now. And I just can't get used to it, and it just doesn't fit me at all. The Logitech G Pro wireless really helps. The shape is really comfortable for my grip, and I don't have any issues with it, especially like since my fingers are overlapping the front of the mouse. There's no discomfort. With some mouse that I find, it can be discomforting, but not with the Logitech G Pro wireless. I like my grip mainly because there's like no drag. There's no drag onto like my forearm at all, since it's kind of elevated and the back of my palm doesn't touch the ground. There's no like drag back here at all. So whenever I'm aiming, it's just constantly it's free flowing. I would say some of the disadvantages are that I can't pick my mouse up and move it really rapidly like a lot of other players. Since my grip is like very forward onto the mouse, I can't always pick up my mouse like completely like really quick. So if I'm like turning around and like doing like really quick movements, it's harder for me to constantly pick up the mouse and flick around. So that's why I play on a little bit of a faster resistance than normal players do. So I'm more like a hybrid when it comes to using my wrist and my arm for the movement of the mouse. I like to use my arm, but I also use my wrist a fair amount too. I use my wrist for the small movements, and I use my forearm for the big movements or turning around and such. So for the Logitech G Pro wireless, you can actually get mouse buttons on each side, the left and the right side, since it is like an ambidextrous mouse. But I personally don't use them on both sides at once. Obviously, since I grip the mouse in my right hand, I have the buttons on the left side. In my opinion, I actually don't always think that just because your grip's comfortable, it's like the best grip for you, because obviously, like, I think you should try a lot of grips, and depending on which grip suits you the best. But being comfortable is definitely like a plus, especially like if it's your best grip that you know. So I would definitely like experiment and see whatever like fits you the best.
A decorated veteran of the competitive scene, Geometrics storms into R6 with his clutch kills and chill attitude. And for a shooter, he also uses his mouse in a unique way.
There's the plant. Geo finds one more, and another one close.
Hello, I'm Geo from TSM R6, and I play Hard Breach. I basically use mouse buttons to lean because it's the fastest thing that I got used to when I switched over from Xbox instead of Q and E. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all preference, but I prefer the mouse buttons over Q and E. I would honestly say I probably have one of the best movements in the game, just off like being able to lean and move at the same time. If you lean with Q and E, or just in general with any kind of like, basically with anything on your left hand, which is obviously the one you use for your keyboard, unless you have really good muscle memory and you have it down, it's pretty hard to move everything and lean everything at once, if that makes sense. So people obviously stop moving or quick lean, but for me, I'm able to stay on the move and just keep leaning with my mouse buttons. So I would say just movement is like on a whole different level if you use mouse buttons. For gripping, I basically use a palm, so I basically just grab it as is. My little thumb, I guess, would rest until I need to lean, and then lean's on toggle, not hold. So that's how I hold the mouse and lean. And leaning in the game is really important, from a quick peeking, info gathering, all that stuff. So I would say if I wasn't able to use my thumb at least correctly, I would be able to use like most of the mechanics in R6. For the mouse, obviously, I think it's just really important to be able to aim, especially in FPS games. So I try, like I said, different grips. I recently tried the, I call it the praying mantis. It was kind of like what Matt does, but kind of like this, instead of like what he does like this. Which it was really good, like I said, but I had to switch on my keybinds. But yeah, I would just say just being able to like to optimize what you can do on, what's it called, both the keyboard and mouse would help. I would say the Logitech G Pro Wireless has helped me a lot. How I'm able to grip it is really helpful, especially with the thumb. The ergonomics are pretty good, and I basically enjoy it. At the end of the day, it's all preference, but I definitely would recommend it. I personally thought wireless was going to be kind of iffy, but obviously since using the Pro Wireless, it's been honestly pretty amazing. I would say the best thing is not having to worry about the cords. Obviously, you still have to charge it, but I mean, this thing charges like in 2 seconds. Pretty good.
Threats it, but the diffuser's already been set. Now Gio lies down on the floor. He's getting all the information. Those flank drones are in. Gio with a 3K. MVK is dead. Last alive is Mo. Sitting right behind the printer. Gio waiting for the peek. He finds it. He keeps on firing through. He kills the alibi.
The Fortnite player who memed himself into our hearts. This young gun may have started off with the rage side, but he's matured quite a lot when it comes to his play. Evident by the way he uses his keyboard.
What's up guys, I'm Slappie. I play Fortnite for TSM. So for Fortnite, I usually try to keep as much buttons as I can off of WASD so I can have better movement. But I use Q and Z with my ring finger, and those I have to take off of A. Those are the only ones I do that for. But the rest, I use X with my thumb, F with my thumb, C, V, B, and M, all that with my thumb. And even I, for my inventory, I reach all the way over here. It's just better because if I was on horizontal keyboard, like I wouldn't be able. I would have to reach a lot further to use that. I know a lot of people use their keyboards horizontally, but I see that as a disadvantage because I can reach a lot more keys easier, in my opinion, if I have my keyboard vertically, like with my thumb. I can reach all the way down to like the end of my keyboards, like down here. But if I have it horizontally, it takes more reach, and I have to like take my fingers off of like this lower side of the keyboard, so it's not as easy to like do that, in my opinion. One like special keybind that I don't see a lot of pros using is I actually have foot pedals under my desk that I use for double movement binds in Fortnite. So if you didn't know, in the game, like there's this newer thing that everyone's kind of like learning how to do, which is like double movement binds, which is if you hold like A and another key at the same time, you move faster to that side, or like D, another key, you'll move faster to that side. I really like my Logitech G Pro keyboard because the buttons feel really nice, and I really like the tactile bump in there. And also the spacing between the keys is like, I don't feel cramped in between every key, but it's also not too far, so it's easy to reach the keys that I want to press. For my mouse, I usually grip it like a palm grip because I've got like smaller hands, so it's just easier for me. And I also use like this button as my edit in Fortnite, so I have to I grip up on the mouse a lot so I can hit that button like really comfortably.
So whether you're experimenting with your grip, your keybinds, or the angle in which you use your gear, keep playing and finding new ways to improve your game. If this video was helpful, help us out by leaving a like and subscribe. And if you want more videos like this one, tell us what other techniques or unique styles you want us to explore in the comments below.
Nice, Matt. You're better than these guys. Landed back armory. And one pipes. Moto Hall. Left hand Moto Hall. Left hand Moto Hall. Moto Hall. Oh my God! You are insane.
Wow.
Oh.
Thank you.
You are nasty.
Watch that back again.
Holy. I'm gonna show my grandkids that one.